Welcome! In this presentation, we're going to show you how to raise unlimited funds for any project, dream, or personal aspiration. Remember the Polaroid camera and how amazing it was to get an instant picture? Well, it's already become a modern day dinosaur. Everything is different now. The world's changing. There's the internet, Facebook, mobile phone apps, and now crowdfunding. So, what is crowdfunding? Wikipedia says crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising monetary contributions from a large number of people, typically via the internet. And in Forbes magazine recently it was written, crowdfunding is the next big trend. Crowdfunding is a worldwide phenomena that is now helping to make the dreams of people just like you and me come true every day, to the tune of $5.1 billion in 2013, over $10 billion in 2014 already, and the World Bank estimates it reaching $96 billion within the next 10 years. Crowdfunding is a powerful new global economy. In 2013, Facebook and crowdfunding were neck and neck, with Facebook grossing just about $6 billion in 2013 and crowdfunding grossing just a little over $5 billion in 2013. But now with crowdfunding reaching over $10 billion in 2014, it has outperformed Facebook by billions of dollars. Bigger than Facebook? Now that's powerful. Powerful enough to fund any project, big or small, you may desire. Let me ask you, do you have a dream, a project, or an aspiration that's close and dear to your heart? What's your dream? Maybe it's starting or expanding a business, nurturing spiritual pursuits, or creating projects to make a better world, funding home improvements, funding college loans, a wedding, buying a new car or a new home, creating a retirement fund, or just paying off loans, bills, and a mortgage. We can help with any legitimate project anywhere in the world. Today we're going to share with you a revolutionary way to fund your dreams and in the process help many other people do the same. If you Google crowdfunding, you will find there are over 500 crowdfunding websites on the internet. They all have three things in common. They all charge you a fee or a percentage of your donations for using their platforms. They all require you to do all your own marketing. This means you will have to contact hundreds, if not thousands of people through your own efforts to ask for contributions. And they all have time limits. So for the most part, you're pretty much on your own, and only a small percentage of people and projects actually get funded. But not anymore. Welcome to our intentional global community built upon our world-class shared crowdfunding platform. Our leveraged shared platform is different. There are no fees, and there are no time limits, and we share contributions globally with our intentional community. No restrictions on project categories, and your project can potentially receive hundreds, if not thousands of shared contributions it would have never received on any other crowdfunding platform. On our shared platform, we voluntarily choose to contribute to other people's projects, and in return we can receive from an unlimited number of other crowdfunders. And here's some of the projects that are on our site. You can see we help with medical issues, someone who wants to make a CD, a creative project, organic gardening, shelter or women in need, an extra vacation home, or outreach ministries, or getting new education around music or things that you love, or helping with animals. Yes, that's right. You can now raise unlimited funds via crowdfunding for your favorite project, dream, or personal aspiration. And in the process, share it forward to help other family, friends, and business connections do the same. Truly, this is the spirit of people helping people. This is just a presentation, and it's a personal invitation for you to join our intentional community of crowdfunders and begin funding your dreams today. So, would you like to know how our shared crowdfunding donation distribution formula actually works? Well, before we get started, this is important to share that this is not a business income opportunity. Our donation distribution formula is purely based on crowdfunding, and we make no claims or guarantees of contributions that your project will receive. Each individual's project success depends largely on his or her commitment, desire, and personal efforts. The following slides you're about to see display a hypothetical mathematical example based on each project manager that joins will refer 4 other project managers that join and each make a $200 donation. Please note this is only a hypothetical example. In the real world, it will never happen in this manner. Some project managers will refer 4, and some 2, some 1, and some none. But some will refer many more, so each situation will be unique. Your total financial risk is only the initial contribution you donate to your referrer's project, which is non-refundable and a personal choice. In this presentation, we want to give you a taste of how it works. We have other presentations that go into much more detail. The most important thing to understand is that your efforts can be magnified and leveraged by participating in our shared global crowdfunding community. The following example again is based on you referring 4 project managers who each make a one-time contribution of $200 to your project. Each new project manager refers 4 additional project managers that each do the same. As additional contributions are received, every project manager steps up and progressively funds all 7 floors. Our platform is based on give and then receive. By sharing contributions one time on each step with projects that came before you first, your project qualifies to receive contributions on the same corresponding generation steps from unlimited project managers that come after you in your community. And there are 2 types of donations. The first one is directly to you, 100%, and that's the first floor. The second type of donations are what we call community contributions, and they're on floors 2 through 7 and are shared. So let's get into it. We're going to dive right into it, and I'd like you to follow my pointer if you can. Imagine that we're building a building with 7 floors, and there are 3 steps on each floor. And here they are: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 floors. These represent the floors. And notice there are 3 steps on each floor going up. It's a spiral staircase going upward. And each step has a target donation to offer. And here on the first step, on the first floor, it's $10. On the second step, it's $50. And on the third step, it's $100 on the first floor. And we have one other component on the first floor. It's only on the first floor. We call it the accelerator. And it's a piece that we added just to get enough money to fire the whole thing forward automatically. So it's only on the first floor, and we strongly recommend that you use the accelerator if you can. And when you add up all 4 components, that adds $200, adds up to $200, as you can see here in this figure. And that's what this whole 3 steps and this accelerator add up to. And on each floor, you can see the 3 steps add up to the numbers you see here on the right. It goes on the second floor to 320, and then they double from there on. It's 640 for the third floor. When you add up all 3 steps, it's 1280 on the 4th floor, and it goes all the way up on the 7th floor to $10,240. And the numbers underneath are half the amount. On the first floor, it's 100% you receive, so you get 200. On the other floors, when you're in the receiving position for your project, you only get half of that donation, and that's what this number here represents. It's a half number on each one. And if you look all the way over here on this side of the chart that represents how our donation distribution formula works, remember we said 100% of the first floor goes to you. Floors 2 through 7, this is the formula for all these floors. 50% when you're qualified and they're being donated on that floor when you're at the right point in the configuration, and we'll show that, you receive 50%, these numbers, these gold numbers underneath here. The other 50% is broken up into 2 25% donations, and the first 25% goes to the person, the project manager that referred you to their project, and the other 25% goes to the person that referred that project manager. So when a donation on floors 2 through 7 is made, it goes to 3 projects. 50% goes to you, 25 goes to the person that introduced you to this platform, and 25% to the person that introduced them to this platform for their projects. So that's how it works. And so in what we're going to show right now is just this first 50%. The other 50% will go into slides later. So what you're going to be seeing in the numbers that are about to come are just half of the donations for this formula. And remember, on this side is what you give over here where the stairway is going up. So you give that one time to a project that came before you, and you can receive what you see on this side as we go through the numbers, potentially from all the project managers that follow after you on those same levels. And so this is the giving that you give, and this is what you receive potentially. So let's go through the numbers. Remember in our model that we talked about earlier, it was 4 people that you were going to refer to our platform, and they were going to make a $200 donation. Well, when 4 people do that, you receive $800 for your project, and that's what that represents. Now, these are the 4 people. This column is the number of people, and these are each generation. So these 4 people will go out and get 4. We'll see 16 people on this next generation as the numbers go forward. So let's see how this plays out. Now, if you can take, because we have a community shared platform, part of the money you received and you're going to share it with another project, and that's why we're a shared platform. You share $320 with the project that came before you, and that's the second floor, as you can see, out of the $800 that you received from these 4 donations. Here we have it. When you take $320 from $800, you're left with $480 for your project, and you've shared part of the $320 with the community, basically. And as you can see now, these 4 people potentially go get 4 other people. You have 16 people on your second generation. Now, the formula switches to a new formula. This part is 100%. This part you get 50%, as you see. The 320 turns into 160, and you have 16 people potentially giving you $160 on your second generation. So when these people on your second generation fund their second floor, just like you did, when the first contribution they make goes to the person that referred them, just like you. But when they fund their second floor, then you receive potentially $2,560, as you see here. When you add the 480 that rolls up, you have $3,040 potentially that you can receive from 4 who get 4 and fund their second floor. So as this same model goes forward, you can take part of what you received here of the 3,040, share 640 with the third floor, the project that's on the third floor that came before you, and then that qualifies you now to receive from the projects that come after you. So you share it forward once, but you can receive it many, many, many times from the projects that follow after you, and that's what's so powerful, is the leverage. As you see, we take the 640 away, and you're left with $2,400 for your project potentially from these numbers. But when these 16 people go get 4 people each potentially, and this is just a mathematical example to show you how the math works. This will all work differently. We have many people starting with just 2. And they're not going to do as well, and some of their people only find 1. But we have some people already who've started with more than 50 people, and you can imagine these numbers get really exciting when you start with 50. So anything is possible. It's based on your efforts and what you do to share this with other people. But here we go with 64 people potentially on your third floor. Now you notice that this half amount, each floor doubles. Your half is 320 times 64 is potentially $20,480 can come to your project from these 64 people if they all step up to their third floor and share it forward on their third level. So that's how that works. Now when you add the $2,400 that's rolling up, that's potentially $22,880 for your project in this formulation. Again, you share part of this forward. Now you're stepping up to your fourth floor and sharing $1,280, as you see from the $2,280, and when you subtract it, you're left with $21,600 for your project. When these 64 people potentially find 4 each, that's potentially 256 people. Now this half amount for this floor is 640. You can see these numbers get extremely exciting. Potentially there's $163,840 in this mathematical example, and when you roll up the part that's here, you are left with potentially $185,000 $8,440 for your project just by 4 people finding 4 for 4 generations, as you see, and stepping up through this process and sharing it forward. All these people do have to share on their 4th floor. It will take more people because for them to make a contribution on their 4th generation, as you see, it takes a little while, and people coming after them pushing them forward. So this number doesn't represent clearly. It will take quite a few more people because each of them will have to have people coming behind them to make them want to move to this level. But it's amazingly powerful, as you see. Now this is only halfway up the ladder, as you see, and as you go forward you continue the same process, and we don't show the numbers as it goes because, as you can see, the next generation becomes so many people, and this amount doubles again, and these numbers become extremely large in this example. And if you go all the way up to the 7 floors, it's an astronomical figure that's potentially can be received. So we don't like to show that big of numbers, but the potential is there, and there will be a few people will achieve something like this, but they will start with many more people than just 4 to make it balance out and work all the way through. But one thing I want to share with, even how exciting it is to get halfway through this, we're only talking about 50% of the money. We're only talking about these half amount of the donations. Let's go in to see what that other 50% looks like. Now let's talk about the other 50%. Remember the 25% that we share with 2 other projects that equals the other 50%. When you receive the 50% primary donation, that's what we call that 50%. It's a primary donation to the examples just shown on floors 2 through 7. 25% is also paid to your refer's project, and an additional 25% is paid to their refer's project. Okay, let's talk about what it looks like when you receive these 25% donations to your project. Here's how you receive the 25% matches. Since 25% is half of 50%, I'm going to say that again. Since 25% is half of 50%, we describe this actually as a 50% match. So this is what the shared donations look like from your perspective when they flow to your project. With every project manager you personally refer to our community, you will receive a 50% match of what they receive in primary donations from floors 2 through 7. That's the example we just showed you. Those very exciting numbers you saw was half of what was half of the donations, and now we're talking about the other half. So from levels 2 through 7, what we just showed, everyone that you sponsor and share and invite into this intentional community of crowdfunders, when they receive those primary donations for their project, you can get a 50% match for your project from that. Very, very powerful. And there's more. In addition, you will also receive a 50% match on all primary donations on floors 2 through 7 from all the project managers these people each refer. So let's give you an example. In our example, if you refer 4 project managers who each refer 4 project managers, totaling in 20, remember 4 who refer 16 plus your 4 gives you 20, you will receive a 50% match on all primary donations from floors 2 through 7 for all 20 project managers. That's extremely powerful. When you add the contributions from all the 50% match shared donations, your potential donations can potentially double or even triple that we showed in that chart before. Once your initial 4 project managers grow 4 generations in depth, just like the example we showed, we suggest you introduce another 4 new project managers and keep expanding your crowdfunding strategy in this same pattern. All funds received are immediately placed into your electronic wallet. In addition, our proprietary software can be set on automatic, and it will work for you 24/7 worldwide. So these stepping up processes and sharing with projects ahead of you can be all put on automatic, so you don't even have to track it, and it will work for you 24/7. It does not get easier than this. You can start with a $50, $100, or $200 donation. We recommend $200 if you can. And the reason's simple. Starting with a $200 contribution can help accelerate the funding of your project 4 times faster. Basically, if you bring 4 people who make a $50 contribution to your project, you'll need 4 times more people to get to that $200 mark, and that takes 4 times more time. So by having people share $200 in donations, it accelerates everything 4 times faster. Remember what the great motivational leader Zig Ziglar said? If you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. This is the magic of our revolutionary shared donation distribution platform. We succeed in funding our projects by helping and supporting others to fund theirs. So our focus is really finding other project managers that we can help realize their dreams and their projects. It's not so much about asking for a handout or putting your hat out for your project. It's more about finding other project managers that you can help. And when you help them succeed because of our donation distribution formula, your project gets funded on its own accord. You just saw how it all worked. It's extremely magical, and my focus is about service. So that's what I love about our community crowdfunding platform. So how many friends do you have in your phone directory? How many email contacts do you have on your laptop? How many friends do you have on Facebook? How many contacts on Twitter? How many on Instagram, on LinkedIn? Can you send 10 private texts per day? How about 10 emails per day? Post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you can do this, you can set in motion an internet tidal wave that will go around the world and may change your life forever by simply inviting people to look at this presentation and getting involved with our community crowdfunding shared platform. Instead of personally finding thousands of donors for your project, which you have to do on basically all the other platforms, just introduce 12 people who want to participate in funding their own projects. Remember, this is not sales, rather it's an invitation for others to raise money via crowdfunding for their own projects and dreams. Even if it takes you 1 year to find 1 person per month, and that's to get back to these 12 people, or 3 months to find 1 person per week, or better yet, find all 12 in a month. You can succeed. It's just a matter of how fast. Fast track your success by simply emailing, texting, and Facebooking all your contacts with invitations today. Finding 12 people to participate in a month is doable and will greatly accelerate your success. Here's Kirby's project. He's a very special person to us on our platform, and you can see it. His project here, we'll talk about a little bit more here, and this is a child that he's helping as part of his project. And Kirby's very passionate about flying, and he wants to create an aviation school. And in the Philippines, which is where his roots are, he writes that there are 8 to 9 typhoons that make landfall each year. Kirby also wishes to raise funds for all the people who have lost their homes. And here he is, Silvestre Hermelio. We call him Kirby. And he's our poster child because he's the first person on our platform, our shared platform, that raised over $100,000 for his project. And that's why we were showing it. So he raised $103,000 on our shared crowdfunding platform, starting with just 12 personally referrals that became project managers. And he did this all in 62 days using our donation distribution formula. And his donations are still coming in and growing bigger every day. So we have no time limits. Join our global community of crowdfunders. You can start today. Join for free, add your dream project to the website, make a one-time small out-of-pocket contribution, begin sharing your project with others, helping others do the same, keep stepping up and sharing it forward. So what's your dream? Crowdfunding can happen very fast, not taking years. Rather, it can happen in weeks or months. So live your dreams in Technicolor. Start your project today by getting back with a person who was kind enough to share this presentation with you.